What's up, my dude?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good. Just coming in and just like making it rain just like that right off the bat.
Hey, you had warning. I warned you before the show even started that those ones got returned for celebrating 800 subs, and they were coming.
You're feeding us with an eyedropper rather than a water hose this time, so it's working better.
With all the talk going on in chat right now of pee and water, I don't know what's happening.
They start talking about weird things we're not paying attention.
I know.
Let's get into the ups and downs then, shall we?
Let's do it.
What are you liking about the Canucks so far tonight?
Another good start. Lots of energy out of the gate, drawing a penalty, getting a power play, some good chances on that power play. Höglander getting another goal. His hard work is paying off now with goals. We knew he'd been working at getting to the front of the net and getting to the middle, and that was just a good goal there. Hughes and Petey getting assists. Hughes, of course, getting another point, and Pettersson with assists in back-to-back games now. So that's good to see. Some really nice saves by Demko. Something we haven't seen him have to do or been successful doing in the last few games that he's played. So um, obviously an unfortunate pinch by Susie there, which kind of left Juleson and Demko out to dry. Suter did his best to try and get back, but make the first save and hope that someone's there, and goes right to Novak, I think it was, and he finds the back of the net. So overall, not a bad period. Nashville's pushing back pretty hard, so we need to tighten up a little in our end and get more of those shots to the outside like we've been doing the last few games. But overall, pretty good road period. Obviously getting smoked in the face-off dot right now, so we need to fix that.
27% in the face-off dot right now. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, and I was looking at the actual breakdown, and you got like Petey at 1 for 7, and Miller at 2 for 5, and so pretty much everyone's getting wiped right now in there.
And then they're actually getting out hit quite a bit right now too. The Nashville Predators already have 14 hits in that period, which is wild. And then the Canucks only have 7, so they're out hitting us by double. So they're gonna have to look to step things up.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing with that is the Canucks have had a lot more of the puck possession. They carried the puck a little more in the first half of that period. Would have liked to see them get one more past Saros, but that's Saros for you. Any given night, he can steal a game. So he is a Vezina caliber goaltender. So need to keep pressing and keep moving our feet like we're doing, and draw more penalties. Maybe get another power play and keep driving to the middle and getting more shots through. Just like the Höglander goal, cut to the middle to get a shot from the slot, where most of the goals come from these days, and good things happen.
Yeah. Carlson with a good screen in front too. Looked like he did that like fade by Saros. So I don't even know if Saros saw it until the last second. So Carlson might not have gotten a point on the play, but he was definitely a part of it.
For sure. And you heard a couple games back, the Washington coach giving Carlson and Pettersson both accolades for doing that and becoming good screens and their timing for getting in front of goalies. So definitely props to Carlson for the non-official assist.
Yeah. The non-touch assist. The other thing I've been liking about the Canucks so far, they do, like, despite the fact that they haven't been winning a lot of faceoffs, it looks like over the last few games, they've really been working hard on that forecheck. And so that's probably why they've been able to get so much of the possession time, is because they are actually getting in and taking the puck back, despite the fact that they weren't able to get it right off the faceoff.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't want to be playing the whole game that way. It's one thing to play a period that way, and Nashville has been playing well the last couple of weeks. They've been scoring a lot and starting to find their team chemistry after the big changes they made in the offseason. However, we need to tighten up and make sure that we start limiting their chances, because Demko had to make a couple of big saves there that we don't want to see continue for the final 40 minutes here.
Downs for the Canucks? Any like really big downs? Or
I mean, I guess the face-off wins. We need to buckle down and get a few more of those, and I'm sure they'll talk about it, re-strategize about, or maybe look at how they're losing them, and see if they can change that up a little bit. Um, Other than that, just keep doing what they're doing. Get lots of shots through. It's nice to see us consistently getting double-digit shots on net in periods.
Mhm.
That's something that we haven't seen this team consistently doing. So we haven't been able to say that word much with this team's the consistency. So that's nice. 3 games in a row now, we see them with more purpose to get to the net, a little more uh, give a shit, for lack of a better term. It looks like maybe some of the outside noise is starting to wear thin on the players too, and they just want to start playing hockey.
Perfect transition. Speaking of outside noise, did
What?
something
When?
happen recently?
I have no idea.
What timing, right? Like, and the thing is that everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that interview. It's like, well, at the end of the day, it was a newspaper article. It came out on the Globe and Mail. So this is an interview he
Mhm.
probably did a couple days ago. Oh, it's not like he did it the day that it got dropped. So when he did the interview, the Canucks hadn't probably won the 2 games in a row that they had. But regardless, what can you tell me about what the heck happened with Jim Rutherford and Gary Mason from the Globe and Mail?
So I actually heard Thomas Drance yesterday. So there was a firestorm all over Canucks Nation yesterday, all over the internet, X, with all the analysts, everything. Jim Rutherford did a very candid article, honest article, with Gary Mason of the Globe and Mail, who's a well-respected reporter. However, not known for his sports reporting. Drance yesterday brought up that his last 4 articles, I believe, were about the economic recession or inflation, and another one was about something else political, and then another one was about some other crisis, and then his newest one was Jim Rutherford. So, not typically someone who covers this sort of thing. Um, so, just to kind of get into it, Rutherford sat down with Gary Mason and basically went public with the JT Miller and Elias Pettersson rift. He was very open with his quotes, and we can talk about a couple of them here. He basically said that he felt for a long time there was a solution to the relationship between Miller and Pettersson because everybody has worked on it, including the parties involved,
Mhm.
meaning Miller and Petey. He says it only gets resolved for a short period of time and then it festers again. And so it certainly appears like there's not a good solution that would keep this group together, meaning they need to get rid of one of or both of these players. Um, some of his quotes can be looked at fully negatively, saying that, he doesn't believe in the team and they need to blow it up. Um, Obviously, there's been this speculation about Pettersson and Miller, and they've denied it. And the team has done their best to keep this somewhat private. There's been media speculation for years. We've talked about it, you and I, and obviously the timing sucks after winning 2 games in a row. But when you talk about the timing and how Rutherford likely did this interview before the wins happened,
Mhm.
he also doesn't strike me as the type to blindside a coach or his players with the fact that he did that interview. So these guys probably knew that this interview was coming out before it dropped yesterday, which may have something to do with the attitude shift in the last 3 games that we've seen.
Mhm.
Um, my impression from the article is that enough is enough, and these 2 guys need to figure it out, and we're going to make this public and just show how ridiculous they are being. I mean, I don't think Rutherford did it in anger. He's a very calculated person. He always has been in his entire career. He always has a reason for all the things he does when it comes to the club that he is involved with. I think it sends the message that, these two guys are millionaires and they're causing this problem that has leaked across the entire team. And it's kind of ridiculous because when they are at their best and when they put this difference aside, we've seen what they can accomplish. They're two of the best players in the NHL. They're two of the best centers in the NHL. And when they focus and use their energy the right way, they can accomplish great things. And I think with some of the things that Rutherford said, now everyone thinks, okay, let's blow it up, and there's a lot of stuff that I've kind of thought about the last 24 hours after this article dropped. I thought about, yesterday I was like, okay, trade them both. This is ridiculous. These guys need to grow up, right? And blow it all up. Let's move forward. I'm just disappointed that it even got to this point. And then, I think about the other side of it. It's like, okay, well, what does it look like then if we do get rid of both of these guys? And then he's talking about, well, maybe Hughes isn't going to stick around for a whole rebuild. So if 2 years from now you're talking about losing Hughes, now things are getting real scary, and the sky is falling all over Canucks Nation.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Greatest player in the history of the franchise walks away because a couple of millionaires can't get along.
Yeah, and so the whole situation, I mean, for someone like Rutherford, I mean, this is just ridiculous, right? And let's not kid ourselves. The Canucks are not the first professional sports team, NHL team, workplace, family, marriage, or anything to have problems.
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver is a very hockey forward market. It's a hotbed. We want to know everything. When we're winning, things are great. We don't ask questions. We just celebrate, ask the players all the good questions, ask them what's working, what's going right, and everything's all good. When we're losing and we're having a year like we've been having and there's no real answer for it, the media is going to try and find a reason. And this year, unfortunately, the reason ended up being the issues between Pedersen and Miller. And with those issues, it's affected their play, but I don't know necessarily that it's all the noise that has affected their play. I think they're just legitimately both having a bad year at the same time, and it's just bad timing. Does the fighting make it worse? Absolutely. JT Miller is known to care too much sometimes, and he likely does get frustrated when they're on losing streaks or when they can't find some consistency. We've been frustrated watching them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine how frustrated they are playing after the success they had last year. So I'm willing to kind of cut them a little bit of slack when it comes to that sort of thing. But they do need to start performing on the ice, and they do need to own it a little bit now that it is out in public. JT Miller just said today, a Nashville Predators reporter got in his face and said, hey, what about these rumors, or what about, I guess they're not rumors anymore. What about what Rutherford said? And he just shut it right down, said, I'm not commenting, not saying anything. It sucks because these guys are trying to focus, get ready for a game, and it's constantly being brought up and being thrown in their face, whether it's a Canucks or Vancouver media or now out of town media. And so I don't know if this was Rutherford's last ditch effort to kind of get these guys going before they trade them. But now there is some damage control being done by Gary Mason a little bit. He's tweeting out more quotes that Rutherford said that he claims he didn't have room or time to include in the article. However, they're kind of important because they backpedal a bit the doom and gloom that all of Rutherford's quotes showed. He does say, like, look, if this team starts winning, this all goes away. Like, if they figure it out and go on a big winning streak, you guys aren't talking about this. No one's talking about this. It's another one of those moments where the guys, they figure it out. The problem is, how long can they keep it figured out for when they do figure it out? We've seen the roller coaster through these guys. And also, as management, take a little responsibility for signing both of these guys to long-term deals. There's so many facets and avenues to this issue that, you know, there's some onus on management for offering these guys long-term deals. There's a lot of onus on Miller and Pettersson for signing these long-term deals, knowing full well that they don't get along with each other. Like, I went through a divorce, and, like, I don't care how much money you're going to give me. You can't make me sign an 8-year deal to be near my ex-wife at work. You know what I mean? Like, why would I sign that contract, and why would you offer me that contract? So there's just so many issues that are like, what really is going on?
So I have 2 questions for you, Dustin.
Absolutely.
You got 40 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was it the right choice for Rutherford to talk, and why now?
I think it was, because I think he's at the end of his rope when it comes to these two and getting a message across. I think they've tried everything. And, you know, now it's kind of getting it out there and getting people interested before the Four Nations. See what Pettersson and Miller do at the Four Nations, because coming out of that, it's going to be an aggressive push to the trade deadline. And if they are going to move these guys, that's when it's going to happen. One or the other. Or maybe they move Miller this season and they move PD in the offseason. But I know I got on a bit of a ramble and a rant there, but I just think that the answer still moving forward is winning and keeping them both, because I don't think that you're going to get back the right return for these two players. I mean, they're elite players, and you can't replace a 2 top-line centers. It's just impossible. So I hope that they figure it out and get moving here. And maybe Rutherford warned them that the article was coming out, and we'll have to see. We'll see what kind of second period they put up, and if they can pull out another win here and get on a streak. Yeah. Well, I've liked what I've seen so far, so we'll have to see.
It's like a 7th period in a row that they played well, so that's a good streak for them.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy the second and third, Dustin. We'll see you in the post-game show.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you then.
Nothing is perfect.